Hey everyone, fellow composer Mike Phillips here with Musiotech, and this is an update to the app that I'm developing for all of my fader units. So just so you know, all of the fader units are completely programmable without an app, but I thought why not also give you the ability to have a nice big screen, although I tried to use the biggest screens possibles on the actual unit. There's nothing like a nice big screen like this to edit things. So I'm just going to show you a little bit more of what's been happening since the last video. I'm going to start here by connecting the fader. So if the fader isn't connected, you can hit this little refresh button. It'll find any faders, and if there's only one, it'll connect it. And then you know it's connected because it's got this little green plug. I also thought it was important that both the app and the fader know that they're connected because it's pretty complicated, but just having things so that they talk to each other is great. But what happens if the fader gets turned off or unplugged or something, or the cable gets removed? So if I turn off the fader, which I'll do right now, the app becomes aware of it. So it says, hey, the device is no longer detected, refresh or reboot, which I will do now. And so all the big companies that have devices that are connected, they do this. They pull back and forth and they say, hey, are you there? Yeah, I'm there. Are you there? Yeah, I'm there. Are you there? Yeah, I'm there. So literally like every tenth of every one, what am I thinking? Every 100 milliseconds or so, 90 milliseconds, it pulls back and forth. And I use the 90 milliseconds because Pro Tools uses that for connecting to their devices. So anyway, the devices are aware of each other if they get disconnected on both ends, which is cool and important. Since the last video I did on this, in the last video, the data was not populating, but now it is. So as I click on these little arrows down at the bottom, I'm changing what we call scenes. Scenes are simply banks, if you will. Some people call them banks, but they're just sets of CCs, names, MIDI channels, and these are MIDI ranges, the high range of your MIDI. So this particular unit is the Fader Presidential, and it's got 32 scenes. So you got nice little buttons here to navigate the scenes. You can drag this little slider, and I showed this in the last video, but you can also click right here, and that activates a Fader interactive mode, where you can just drag the fader, which I know you can't see the fader right now, but as I'm dragging, you can see it's changing all the data, and then I can click it back off. So that's pretty fun. I just thought I would make it interactive for you guys. On my units, you can also change the color theme. So there's a bunch of little color themes that are available. So you could change them. There's also a global color theme, which you can edit if you wanted to. If you wanted to edit the scene name, we've got special characters you can enter. And that's only because the units themselves have these. And I thought, well, what if you wanted to enter a nice little special character in your scene name, so you have a few to choose from there. So that's coming along. Another really neat thing I've worked really hard on for you guys is a backup and restore. So I just think it's really important to be able to have a backup copy of all the data. If you spend 5, 10, 15 minutes programming the thing, you know, you should be able to just save all the settings and restore them if you needed to. So there's a nice little button here where you can back up all of your data, and I'll just show it to you guys real quick. So we can save the file anywhere. I'll just call it backup on the desktop here. And then also I'll click again and I'll restore all the data. And once again, I'm going to find that little file and open it. And it's going to go through, and it actually checks the data to make sure it's good. So I know the message already changed, but sometimes with communications between units, little message packets can fail or get dropped. So I thought it was really super important to make sure that the data has integrity. So the app has built-in checksums, if that means anything to you, but in English it means it's checking the data thoroughly to make sure that it matches and you're not uploading bum data to your unit. And for a restore, it's kind of a two-part process here because I wanted to make sure you really meant it. So I know you can't see the fader right now, but it's asking if you really want to restore the whole unit. And I'm not going to right now, so I'll just hit no. And then I'll hit OK here. So that's taken a lot of time, but it's super fun. I'm going to go ahead and refresh that because it disconnects the fader when you do the restore process. We've also got some options in here, things like little tool tips if I turn them on. You can see the little tool tips show what everything is. And again, I thought that was really important just to make the unit friendly, just to make the app friendly for you guys. But if you don't like those little pop-ups, hey, you can turn them off and it gets saved when you restart the unit. So another big goal here has been to give you guys the ability to save presets of your data. So again, this particular unit has 32 scenes. The Fader Premium has 8. The Fader Micro Premium has 16. This one has 32. And some people have complained, well, only 8 or only 16, or I'm sure somebody's going to say only 32. Well, here's the cool thing, gang. You can actually save a preset for different companies or even different libraries if you want, and then recall all those settings at the touch of a button, so to speak. Now, this is not fully implemented, so if I click, nothing's going to happen at the moment. But you would be able to simply select a preset and save all of the main data, which means effectively, even though, let's say you have a Fader Premium with only 8 saved scenes, people were thrilled with the Nano Control, which is 4, but if you only have 8 saved scenes on the unit, well, you can extend that as many as you want by saving presets. So you could have, 10 sets of 8 scenes, effectively 80. So I thought that was kind of a clever way of giving you guys A, the ability to expand the units literally infinitely, and B, the ability to recall whatever sets of scenes you wanted, or whatever preset as I'm calling them. And a preset is just going to be different scene data. So I think that's really exciting. I'm in the process right now of figuring all that out. I didn't start all this as a programmer, so everything is a hiccup or a roadblock or turn around and go back. But I enjoy it, and it's coming along. And these little buttons, by the way, will give you the ability, for example, to to upload all of your data to your unit. I turned off the tooltips. Let's turn them back on so you guys can see. So this is going to upload all the data that you've changed, or you can upload just the current scene to the unit, and these are not functional yet. They will be. Or you can download a scene from the unit, or you can download everything from the unit. So basically, you can take the information from the fader itself and pull it in, which is the default. When you first fire it up, it just loads up everything. But then you'll also have the ability to upload or download changes as you will. And this is going to give you the ability to copy a scene. So the units have that ability already, and I thought, well, that's kind of a fun thing to be able to click and copy all the data from a scene and paste it onto another one. So I'm pulling out all the stops. I'm trying to make this as glorious and cool and fabulous as I can for you guys. Again, I'm not a programmer, so there's probably lots of little things that could be better, and so I'll be glad to hear your suggestions or ideas when people start using the app. So anyway, gang, oh, and of course, I didn't mention it, but you can save your presets. So if you make a bunch of changes, you can click there and you can save them as, whatever you want, and they'll appear in the drop-down list. So I'm pretty excited about it all. I think it's going to be a wonderful addition to the Museotech Fader family, if I could use that term. But, just to give you a nice ability to program things on the computer, because I have had some people tell me, oh, it's hard to program on the units, and I've had other people say, oh, it's so easy to program on the units. So I never know. To me, I think it's pretty straightforward, but some people would prefer to have an app, and so they've told me, oh, can't we have an app? So I'm like, yeah, I think that's probably time to do that. And as far as time frame, I don't know. I think it might take another month or 2, possibly 3, if I'm being perfectly honest. I don't want to give a time frame for sure because it's development work. Sometimes it takes longer than I would like, but really we've got a lot of functionality already. I just need to get these little buttons working where you can upload and download, and I need to get the presets working. So anyway, gang, that's the scoop for now. I'll have more to share as the app matures. And you can see I've just set it up to version 0.1. I won't even call it version 1.0 yet because it's still a ways off. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for watching. I want to wish you a beautiful day. If you're interested in some super high quality faders that are just absolutely wonderful to use with high quality actual faders, some companies cheap out on the faders. Just check out my website, museotech.com. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody.